Welcome into this mindful movement session, and just a reminder for this session and any session that you do with me is always to do it to the best of your ability. But that sometimes means that you need to take an extra break, extra rest, maybe it's some extra hydration, whatever it may be, but doing the best you can there in terms of completing this session. Throughout it, we're going to be doing lots of movement, lots of breathing, so just stick with it and do it to the best range of motion that you can. But again, if you need to take any adaptations to the movement we're doing, then that is fine to change that, but I will guide you through to the best of my ability as well. Good, with that out of the way, let's get started with the session. So get yourself in a nice, comfortable position, however that looks for yourself, and we'll just do some nice deep breathing, going in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just continue that breathing. And some point over the next couple of breaths, let's close those eyes down and bring that focus inwards. So notice how as you breathe in, the air rushes into the lungs, inflates them, almost lifts the chest up. And then as you breathe out, notice how the shoulders relax down as you do also. And just cycling between the two there, nice, slow, deep breaths. Try and make that out breath as well a little bit longer than the in breath. Good, now we're in a bit more of a relaxed state. Let's thank ourselves for being here today. Often the hardest part of these sessions is just turning up in the first place, but you are here, so let's thank ourselves for that. But also remind ourselves that we've got this hour together, so we want to stay as focused as we can through the session. Whether it's the breathing, the movements, the mindfulness towards the end, whatever part we are, try and keep in our mind focused on the task at hand. That might mean that sometimes during the session that your mind might wander, but that is absolutely fine. It's a natural thing that the mind likes to do. We just remind it just to bring it back in line and to focus on what we are doing to make the most out of this time together. Whilst you're thinking about that, keep that breathing going in through the nose, out through the mouth. Start to sit up nice and straight. Keep the eyes closed still. And what I want you to do now, as you breathe in, I want you to almost imagine there's a string pulling you through the spine, through the head, up towards the ceiling. And as you breathe out, you just relax it down again. And then again, as you breathe in, pulling the spine up through the neck, through the top of the head, sitting up tall, and then breathe out and relax down. Good, keeping that breathing going. Start to open up the eyes. And now as we breathe in, we're going to shrug our shoulders up, squeeze it nice and tight. And as we breathe out, we're just going to relax it down again. Good. Keep the breathing going, but let's start to do some rotations now with those shoulders. Just nice, easy circles round. Good work, just mobilizing them round, nice easy circles round here. And let's change direction. Work. We're going to go into a little bit more now. So we'll bring our hands roughly on our shoulders and we'll start bringing those elbows round now. If you need to do it double arm like so, that's fine. Or if you want to do it alternating, or if you can only do it one arm at a time and then you can swap over to the other side. Whichever works for you here, go with that one. Welcome in, Sam. Just join in when you're ready to. Don't worry, I'll put it on your permanent record. Good work, just mobilizing it around there. Nice. Well, let's change direction. Go the opposite way, and again we can do a double arm. We can do it alternating or just the single arm if that's what's required for yourself. But as long as you're getting good range of motion for you, if that means small circles is all you can do, that's fine. If you can do bigger circles, it's just whatever you can do here. Nice. Well, let's start to open up a little bit more by straightening up that arm, or at least a bit there, and get that arm going around in a circle. Just nice and slow and gentle. Just going to move forward so I'm not hitting the cupboard. Yeah, let's change direction. Going the opposite way around. And let's change over to the other side. Big circle. Remember, if you need to do this with a bent arm or a smaller circle, that's absolutely fine. If that's all that you're able to do, whether that's today or any day, that's okay. It's just doing what we can. Let's change direction. Okay, the opposite way. And then we come back into some shoulder rotations. Change direction. Then we're going to move into a little bit of stretching here. So our first one here is we're going to reach over to one side, hold it for like 3 to 5 seconds. Then we're going to come down, then going to reach over to the other side. Again, hold it for 3 to 5 seconds. And then just go back and forth between the two here to the best of your ability. If you're not able to bring the arm all the way up above your head, you can always come across the front instead. if that's a little bit easier for you. Or even just somewhere sort of between the two, if it's like up at a diagonal angle away from your body, that's fine too. We're easing out of that one. We're going to go into our next one now, where we open up the chest. So bring the arms back behind, and then reach one arm forwards, and then back behind again, and then reach the other arm forwards, and repeat again. So both arms back behind. Try and get the elbows and the wrists back. That's really going to help open up that chest. And then when we reach forwards, try and push that shoulder forwards in that socket there. Good work. And then let's move on to our next one. So again with this one, as always, got two options. Option number one, keep the elbows tucked in and come out to the side and back in. Or option number two, if you're able to do, I'd recommend, which is keep the elbows high and then come up and down. So either this, or if you're not able to do that, you can keep the elbows low and do that. Stretching those rotator cuffs there as we do so. Turn to the side as well. So the arm is coming back behind a little bit and then down. We should feel that stretch sort of deep within that shoulder joint, because we're stretching sort of the muscles that are underneath the top one. So you've got your deltoids on top, and then sort of underneath there's the rotator cuffs, and that's what we stretch when doing that. Well, let's ease out of that. Do some shoulder rotations again. And then a little bit earlier than we usually would, but I'm going to have a hydration break just because of the heat, so feel free to have a drink yourself. And we move into the next bit here. Okay then. This next bit here, we're going to combine some of our breathing and moving together, similar to what we've done in the past. So we'll start nice and simple. As we breathe in, we raise the hands up, and as we breathe out, we push down again. Breathe in through the nose, bring the hands up. Breathe out through the mouth, push them down. And remember, when we're linking breath and movement together, your breathing is guiding the movement. So however long it takes you to breathe in, that's how long it takes to raise the hands. And however long it takes to breathe out, that's how long you lower them for. Let's add in our next little bit now. So as we breathe in, instead of going down, we push forwards and then relax down. So breathe in and then breathe out and down. Can be a little bit tricky if you don't have too much core to breathe out and push forwards at the same time. So just try your best to try and stay upright with this. Good work. Now we're going to continue this, but instead of going up and forwards, we bring up and then we push to the side this time. And down. Good. Now what we're going to do is breathe in again, just the same, but instead of going out to the side, we're going to push up, out, and around. So breathe in as we pull the hands up, and then breathe out as you push up, out, and around. If you can't bring the arms all the way up and around, even if it's a smaller range of motion, that's fine. Try and push the limits of what you're able to do, even if that might mean you can do one on one side a little bit and then you can come over to the other side on the next one. If that's what you need to do, try and get good range of motion. Yeah, what we're going to do now is to put that into reverse. So we're going to bring the hands all the way up and around. I want you to almost like you're grabbing something above your head and you're pulling it down towards your belly. So you're up, out, around, and down through the middle. So breathe in as you go up, out, and around to the top. And then you can breathe out as you push down through the middle. Nice, rest those arms down by our side, and we'll just do some shoulder rotations again, just to ease out of that. Nice. Well, we're going to bring the hands back up to around about our shoulder height, and we're going to continue our breathing and movement. We're going to push one hand forwards, and we're going to bring it back. Breathe out as you push out. Breathe in as you pull in. And just repeat through that there. Just nice, slow, easy movements. Just keep that going. Keep the breath linked in with the movements that you're doing. It's just nice, slow, and gentle. Just need another drink. Breathe out as you push out. Breathe in as you pull in. And try and make it one fluid movement. So it's not out and then in. It's out and in. One fluid movement. Remember, the breath is dictating the timings of this. However long it takes to breathe out, you push out. However long it takes to breathe in, you pull in. Let's extend that a little bit more now. So as you push out, we're going to lean into it. You can use your opposite hand to rest on your lap if you need to. And then you bring it in. So again, we breathe out, push forwards, lean into it. Maybe even get our head down a little bit. And then bring it back in. And we just keep repeating through that there. Good, let's start to extend it a little bit more as well. So as you reach forwards, instead of coming straight back, we're going to come up, over the top, and around behind us. Make sure we don't hit anything, like an oven door. And we reach forwards, and go up, around, and down. Good, if you can't bring the arm all the way up and over, even if it's round to the side a bit, my arms are too long. Doesn't matter where I go. Good, well, let's ease it there. We just do a couple of shoulder rotations just to ease out of that one. It's quite a big range of motion. And then let's move on to our next one here. So we start with the hands up around about the shoulder height again, and we push out to one side, bring it back in, push out to the other side, and bring it back in. Just repeat through that. Breathe out as you push out, breathe in as you pull in, and much like before, one fluid motion. And let's start to extend that a little bit more. You can hold on with the opposite hand if you need to, but lean over and bring the head down in line with it as well. Bring it back in and then over to the other side. Just sort of extend it a little bit more. Involve a bit more of the body as well. Hold on if you need to and just repeat through a nice fluid movement. Good work. Now we're going to extend it a little bit more. So as you reach out, do so as normal, but come right the way up, over and across. If you can't come all the way up and over, then we can just come up as high as we can. So you can reach across the front instead a little bit more. But try your best to reach the best that we can do here. And then reach over to the other side. Good work. Okay, we're easing off there. We'll just do a little bit of shoulder rotations and then we'll go into our hydration break right now. Good work so far though. Nice breathing, mobility, linking it all together. That's exactly what we want to see from this. Good. Let's move into our spinal mobility now. So some just nice deep breathing just to relax into it first of all. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And we'll just go through some neck mobility now. So start with some looking up and down, flexion, extension. Just nice and gentle. Nice and easy. Just nice and easy movements. We're not trying to force anything in this situation. We're just trying to glide between the two positions, looking up and looking down, and just nice and easy. Good work. The next time you find yourself looking down, let's hold that position there and just let gravity take over a little bit. And if you want to take it a little bit further, keep that chin tucked in, and you can just sort of rock side to side with the head there. And let's ease out of it. Do a couple more looking up and downs. And then the next one we're going to do our extension. But we start by looking forwards, place the hand on the sternum, keep the mouth nice and closed, and then look up from there. So again, I'll start from the beginning on that, so if you didn't quite get it. So we start by looking forwards. We place our hand, just sort of the top of the middle of the rib cage there. Keep that tight there, almost kind of holding the skin in position. Keep the mouth closed, and then look up. And you'll feel a stretch through the front of the neck there. You may find that even just putting your hand here in the first place and just moving a little bit, you get a good enough stretch. You may find you need extra. You might find that even with the mouth closed, it's getting enough stretch, or open, sorry, still be getting enough stretch. Play around with it, see what works for you. But if you want to take it even further here, we can just rock the head side to side in that extended position. Let's ease out of that. We'll do a couple of looking up and downs. And then we move into our next one, which is our rotation, looking left and right. Just nice, easy, gentle movements. Good. Alrighty, when we are ready, we're going to do our stretching round to the left side. So we place our left hand on top of the right collarbone, or roughly around the area, keeping the mouth closed again, and we rotate round to the left side. I'll repeat that again. So start by looking forwards. Place your left hand on your right collarbone, keeping the mouth closed, and rotate the head around to the left. And you should feel a bit of a stretch sort of through the front side, or the front to the side, like to the right side of the front, as you do that. And then from there, we can take it a little bit further by just doing some nodding, looking up and down. let's ease out of it. We'll do some lefts and rights again. And then this time we're going to go to the opposite side. So start by looking forwards, bring the right hand on top of the left collarbone, sort of lock it into place there, keep the mouth closed and rotate the head around to the right side this time. Hold it there. And if you want to take it further, feel free to leave it in this position if you want. You can just sort of look up and down in this position, not just, especially looking up will give you a bit more of a stretch. Ease out of that. We'll do some lefts and rights again, the rotation, and then we'll go into our lateral flexion. So that's bringing one ear to one shoulder, to the other shoulder, and go back and forth. Good work, nice easy movements. Alrighty, next time you find your left ear towards your left shoulder, let's hold it there. And we've got three options here. One, we can just keep our arms like they are. Option number two, we can drop that opposite arm down, so the right arm down for this one. Or we can bring that arm behind us if you're able to. So three options, just do which works best for you. I prefer having the arm down to the side and almost sort of pulling it down, opening up the gap here. Good, let's ease out of that one. Doing some lefts and rights again. And the next time you find your ear coming towards the right shoulder, let's hold it there. And again, we can take that a little bit further. Either hand on the lap, arm down by the side, or arm behind you. Just feeling that stretch. And ease out of that. Good. Well, we're going to go through the rest of our spine now. I'm going to turn to the side to get us started. We're going to go through our flexion extension. So we extend through and then flex down. And just repeat through that, curling forwards, arching back. Curling forwards like a prawn, arching back like a high jumper, And just going back and forth between the two, mobilizing, loosening up that spine. Yeah, let's go into our next one, which is the rotation. So rotate to one side, rotate round to the other side, and back and forth. Keep that going. I'm just going to grab myself a drink again. Nice. Where can we go into our lateral flexion now? So bending down to one side, down to the other side, back and forth. It's nice, easy movements. Good. Where we're going to come into a whirlpool now. So around in a circle. Let's change direction. And then ease out of that. And we do a little bit of a shake off as we do so. Good. We're going to go into the mindfulness part of our session, but if you want to drink before we head into that, feel free to do so. We will move into it shortly here. No rush though. Good, okay. So if you get yourself into a nice, comfortable position whenever you've had your drink, and we just start some nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And at some point over the next couple of breaths, let's close those eyes down and bring that focus inwards. Just nice, deep, slow breathing. The first thing we are going to be doing here today is some box breathing. Remember, and that's where we breathe in for 4 seconds, hold the breath for 4 seconds, we breathe out for 4 seconds, and then we hold the breath out for 4 seconds. Keep the eyes closed during this time and just focusing on the breathing. I'm going to count it for you as well, so all you have to do is follow along and do what I say. But first of all, we all start with just a breath out, and then we breathe in. 2, 3, 4, hold it in. 2, 3, 4, breathing out. 2, 3, 4, hold it out. 2, 3, 4, breathing in. 2, 3, 4, hold it in. 2, 3, 4, breathing out. 2, 3, 4, hold it out. 2, 3, 4, breathing in. 2, 3, 4, hold it in. 2, 3, 4, breathing out. 2, 3, 4, hold it out. 2, 3, 4, breathing in. 2, 3, 4, hold it in. 2, 3, 4, breathing out. 2, 3, 4, and return your breathing to normal, keeping those eyes closed. We're going to move straight into our body scan here. So for this, remembering we start at the top of our head and go to the tip of our toes. We're going to check in with each part of our body and see how it is feeling today. We can either do that by just focusing and putting energy there and seeing what comes back to us, or we can touch it with our hands or mobilize it itself if it's an area that we can do that in. But just trying to get an assessment of how you feel today, and especially how you feel after today's session. If there's any part that you can't feel or move, it's not a problem. Just send the energy down there, see what comes back to you as you do so. But if there's any areas that when you do that, it's causing you any sort of pain or discomfort, then feel free to skip over those parts. So let's first of all bring that focus into the top of the head, into the crown area, and seeing how that feels. Not a lot of nerve endings in the top of the skull here in terms of the skin and the hair. So what we do is we see what's going on and then bring it down into some of those more sensitive areas, starting with the forehead and the eyes, the eye sockets, and we can squint and move around, just see how they feel. And you get a really good indication just from this area alone of like how well you're sleeping, maybe how long you're staring at a screen for. All those sort of things give you a good indication. So if you feel like, oh, these areas are tired, then that's something you need to maybe think out of moving away from the screen every so often or getting some more sleep in. But let's go down now through to the cheeks, the jaw, the mouth, and we can start to move this around. Just see how it feels. Let's move around to the back of the head and into where the spine and the skull meets, and we'll go down vertebrae by vertebrae, checking in, seeing how it feels here. So after a session of some stretching and some mobilizing, usually it's feeling quite loose, but also it can feel like it's had a little bit of a workout, because stretching is a form of working out. Let's move out into the shoulders area, and again the area that we mobilized and stretched today. So just seeing how it feels. Nice. Well, we go down our arms now into our elbows, and again seeing how that is. And we can move the elbows, we can just focus on it, see how it feels. Any restriction in movement, any good movement, it's just observing, seeing how things are. And let's move down now into our wrists. Just mobilizing those wrists, seeing how they are. Let's move down now into our fingers, giving them a wiggle, seeing how they are, seeing how they feel. Nice. Alright, we're going to bring the focus all the way back up our arms, back into our spine, and let's go down through the rest of our spine again. We can move it and mobilize it and see how it feels. Again, it's probably feeling quite loose because of the mobility that we've done today, but it's also maybe going to be a little bit tired later on. Let's go down now into the hips area, an area that I can't move and I can't feel either, but I can give it some energy down there. I can try and wiggle and see what comes back to me, if there's anything unusual or different or something I just need to pay attention to. Go down now through our upper legs in similar situation to the hips with the knees. I can't feel there, but I'm just sending the energy down there, seeing what comes back to me, see if I get any sort of feedback, and then marking that in my mind. Go down now through our lower legs into our ankles. If you can move them, that's fine. You can mobilize them slightly. Through the feet, into the toes, sending the energy down there. What we are going to do is we're going to do 3 deep breaths together. We're going to start from the tip of our toes. And as you breathe in, I want you to imagine there's a bright white light that goes from the tip of your toes all the way up to the top of your head as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, you're just going to let it dissipate. We're going to do this all together here. So we're going to start with just a breath out. And then 1 big breath in. And release. 2 more. Breathing in. And release. And 1 more. Breathing in. And release. Keep those eyes closed here. And we are just going to bring the attention inwards. And first of all, we're going to thank ourselves for being here today. As we said at the beginning of the session, nearly every session, that turning up is the hardest part of the session often. But you were here, you did the session, you turned up, and you got all the way through to the end, to the best of your ability. So that is something to be celebrated here. So pat yourself on the back, give yourself a round of applause, however you want to do that, or just say a quiet thank you to yourself. And then whenever you're ready to, you can start to sit up straight if you're not already. Open up the eyes and bring yourself back to the room. Thank you very much